I'm still under the weather, so I'm going no camera today.
Okay.
Okay.
How about you?
I hope I'm very well. I hope you get better, man.
Thank you.
These things get some time. It must be shitty as hell.
Are you ill, Bradley?
Yeah, I was in the hospital a couple weeks ago with an infection in my gut.
Oh,
And I don't know if I'm still fighting the same infection or if I got something else while my immune system was weak.
Shit.
Yeah.
But are you feeling better now, at least?
I mean, I'm not in the hospital, thankfully, but I slept most of the weekend.
Oh well, I hope you get better soon.
Thank you.
Very strong of you to be there right now. To this meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see. We'll give Griff a minute or two.
I just want to say that Septi went to the dentist today, so he requested me to record this meeting. So I'm going to start recording.
Okay. Thanks, Juan.
Okay, thanks everyone. Is someone talking?
Hi, Chewy.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys.
All right. Welcome in, everybody. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I did not think of an intro question yet. Does anyone have a good intro question?
How would you explain blockchain to a banker of the 15th century?
Banker?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that I start. Well, it's like I guess that a banker would be like, what are you talking me about? We spent lots of efforts taking care of this gold, saving it, and you're saying that some technology in the future can do it without requiring any force, just because of the power of mathematics. So yeah, I guess that I will explain in some way, but probably he will not understand so much. And in regards of intentions of the call, I would like to share with you two things. One is the multi-token gardens approach that I am pushing forward, and the other is an automatic treasury management tool that I also would like to at least explain a little bit, and because it's still not really clear, but the first multi-token management tool, the multi-token governance garden, is there already some code that I can show? And I will pass it to Paulo. How would you explain to a banker of the 15th century blockchain?
Sorry, what was the question again?
How would you explain to a banker of the 15th century
Oh,
the blockchain?
geez. It's like an accountant book. So the same process that maybe, or more or less, that he does when working on a bank. Well, imagine that, but I know the ability to perform that a lot of people can do it, and that way you don't need the bank itself. I don't know. More or less, that will be the concept that I use. So yeah. Okay. So topics for this call. I would like to talk about the hack session that we did last week, and also the work that I've been doing on implementing the unit test for the library that I hope that I can push tonight. And yeah, I'll pass it back to Bradley.
All right. So to a 15th century banker, yeah, I'd say you between banks, I'm sure you settle up and compare your books at the end of the week or the month or something. We have this future technology that uses the power of lightning to make sure that everyone syncs their books all at the same time over and over and over again. But everyone just has the same books and reads the same data in and out of them. And then my intentions are, go over the results of the great hack session that we had on Thursday and check in on progress towards that Commons upgrade. And I will pass it to Chewy.
Thanks, Bradley. Let's see. I don't know, like probably like something that they could understand, but I think my best would be like, so these people found out a way to write in the fire, and once something is written, you can't change it. So at least I would cut there, I guess. And I'll pass it to Juanca.
I would say like try to take the last drops of that fruit because that fruit is going to end soon. And
I like that. I was expecting that response.
and I will pass to Paul.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what kind of accounting books they were using in the 15th century, but imagine your accounting book. Any change that you make to it, every other banker can see those changes, and over half of them have to agree on whatever change you make. And then everyone's on the same page all of a sudden. And by the way, so I'm here. I'm on the Gardens team, so I'm kind of just checking in and seeing how things are going. And then if I can help anywhere, I'd like to be able to help today.
Excellent. Thanks for stopping in.
Glad to be here.
And we do have a tradition here of passing on at the end of the pass to someone else.
Okay. Who's still? Let's see. Who's still?
Nugget and Hornet.
All right. Yeah, Green Hornet. It's all you.
He's going to pick me. I'm kind of confused what we're doing here. But I think we're talking about blockchain in the 15th century. So, yeah, like I would say that
a blockchain is basically a set of accounts that everyone can add to, but no one can cheat. And no one has any privileged position in doing this thing. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, I'm just hopping in. I just wanted to catch up and see what you guys are up to. Hear any updates that's happening with Gardens and EVM-Crispr. And that's it, really.
All right. And do you mind, can you pass it off?
I'm going to pass it off to Nugan, if you haven't gone already.
Yes, I haven't gone. Yeah, I think it would be pretty hard to explain blockchain to a banker in the 15th century. I think I'd also go with the accounting book route, like saying that this is some kind of magic accounting book which everybody can read and everybody directly agrees on, and just every change you make gets reflected on everybody else's, and you just don't have all the bankers, but you have the whole Silk Road and can just see what is happening everywhere in the world. So maybe try something like that. But I think it would be pretty hard. And for intentions, just catch up, see what's going on, where I can help, and yeah, maybe that. And I'll pass it to Griff, who just arrived.
Oh, man, sorry guys. What's the question?
How would you explain to a banker of the 15th century what blockchain is?
How would I describe to a painter?
To a banker.
A banker.
A banker.
It's your favorite wet dream. No, man, to a banker. Man, what the hell kind of question is that? I don't know. The 15th century, thou haveth the power to mint currencies on your own without a monarchy, without a king, and control it in a public way. I don't know, something like that. That's a tough one, guys. Jeez, man, I'm gonna have to watch this recording. I don't know what you guys came up with. As far as intentions, I don't really have any major intentions. Maybe I'm just excited for all the updates. And then I guess other than to talk about some agave stuff, I think, Sam, you brought up. And then on the other side, distractions, someone's knocking at my door. I'll pass it to you, Bradley.
All right, let's see.
David.
David, exactly. I was just going to say.
Over to me, sure. Well, that's a great question. I think I would answer it with along kind of Griff's characteristics. Here is some wizardry and alchemy with which we can taketh thy king gold and multiplieth. That's about it. Intentions. I belong to both these communities, and yet I've never been to one of the Commons Swarm meetings where they're meshing. And so I'm just wanting to get an introduction to this work group, this swarm, since I belong to each community, and see how I can fit in. Distractions. Got to walk the dog, but that's every day. He's a patient dog. Pass it to Green Hornet.
Sorry, dude, I've already gone.
Yeah, I think actually we've completed the loop, so now we can move on. Let's see. Does someone who was there on Thursday want to give some high-level overview of what we covered? I can fill in some details too. What we did at the hack session.
I think that at the very beginning we did something, but then we just hacked on the EVM-Crispr, right?
Yeah, so we opened up and Will J. Griff was there. We talked about kind of the future direction of some of the decision-making apps, multi-token solutions, or...
Okay. Yeah, this is another. This is one point that I would like to treat today, as well as um, an agave solution that we can apply. They are different topics. Maybe we can start with them, and well, after we talk about what we did on Thursday, but I think that it's also going to be. Yeah, we were talking about applying the hooked voting aggregator solution to gardens because we have been thinking on other solutions, and probably this is the better one, let's say, the not so bad one, because the rest were not so good in many aspects. And this is still not perfect, but a perfect solution would take to redo all the architecture of gardens, which we probably will do on Gardens version 2. But for now, we have to get stick on the hooks, and adding an extra hook to the voting aggregator looks like a good solution. So yeah, we were talking about that, and having some of the gardens having this thing and some others not, because for them it's not needed. And I can talk a bit better what it consists in the specific topic. And then we were hacking together on doing a migration vote from a normal DAO into a common DAO. So there were some problems with that as well. I think that Paulo has more information on those problems because he has been digging deeper into them. Do you want to talk, Paulo, about that?
Sure, I can take it from here. So yeah, we started working on the Commons upgrade. We actually did create the vote and execute it. And actually, I can show you the vote that we did that day. 1 second, I have it here. Here it is. Okay. 1 second. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So we actually did this vote right here.
This is the Commons upgrade, guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a bit short, as you can see. Okay, actually, we execute this set of instructions, and we were checking that everything was in place and everything was in order. I spent the next days taking a look to the DAO permissions and the DAO apps to see if the apps were installed correctly. And actually, it went quite well. There was a problem on the subgraph because, well, maybe first let's take a look here and see what we were doing. Basically, this first three instructions right here install the migration tools, the augmented bonding curve, and the reserve agent. The only thing that I don't like about this vote is that I don't know why, but the disputable voting front end is not rendering or resolving the addresses. So it's showing the addresses without the labels. For example, here it detects like the bounding curve row well, and it translated to the open trading to the human readable name. But I'm having some problems. I don't know why it's not doing the same with these apps right here. So yeah. So the next steps will be to create, as you can see here, the permissions for the Commons DAO. We are setting here the permission for the bounding curve, like open trading for everyone. Here, the make buy orders and the sell orders. We also have the open trading that it's been set, granting the permission to digital voting.
Hey, Paul, can you zoom in a little bit?
Sorry?
Can you zoom in so it's like the?
Yeah. Sorry, it's my screen.
That's
Can you
okay.
see?
Yeah, you can go even bigger because it's like most of the screen isn't this text.
What about now?
Yeah. Oh. That's good.
Okay. So as I was explaining, these first three instructions right here were the installation phase, the installation part, and then we start granting and setting the permissions from this point. But the main problems that I see here is basically at some points the front end is not resolving the addresses, so it's like quite unreadable or really cumbersome. So yeah, but I was taking a look to the permission tables that you can get when using the Aragon's CLI command, the ACL command that shows you all the permissions, and everything seems in order. So the other thing that I spotted was, I don't know, I think there was a problem with the Aragon subgraph because the revoking permissions that we did, like for example here, like the subgraph didn't catch it or something, the event, and basically like the dynamic issuance was still having the permissions even after the vote. So, but I took a look to the permissions tables that I was talking about, and apparently the permissions are not there. So I don't know why the subgraph is not listening correctly to those events, but yeah, those are like the main concerns that I have. Basically, as you can see here, we have the revokes. The first two revokes, the apps are not resolved, so we have these addresses. But the last one here it's okay. So I don't know why. Even when one of these addresses is a dynamic issuance, which actually is, I think it's this, and as you can see here, it printed it resolved the address correctly. So yeah, and the last step was adding the collateral token to the augmented bounding curve. I don't know why it's not getting the RAT spec here, but I actually checked the contract, and we have the collateral, the event here, the add collateral token event, and I took a look to the contract using actually one of the get functions that we have here that returns the collateral, and apparently the collateral is set. So that's the other main concern, that is not getting, it didn't get the RAT spec correctly. But yeah, so this was the vote that we did on the hack session. We also spent some some of the time setting the local Aragon client because the Rinker V1 is down. It's still down actually. And yeah, I think that's all. I don't know if Sam, you want to say something else about this or?
Yeah. Actually, this is the part in which we upgrade the gardens into a commons, and then we have the vote in which we are migrating from the old DAO to the new DAO. And this part was also done, but I don't remember which was the state at the end of the day. I think that it didn't went through either, and we didn't know if it was for. We actually didn't know. I think that in the next hack stage, we can make it advance on it and probably make it through, because it looks like this part is already working. It is not. We are on the limit of what we can do with the EVM-Crispr with this upgrade, because come on, guys, it's not. It should not be this way, because it's quite prone to errors, and
yeah,
I think that is like 2 days of work, that everything is on place. I think that once we have this automated script, we can be doing this all the time and without any worry. But at the same time, it still looks like not the best way to be creating a DAO for now. But yeah, super glad that it's going as it should go, and we can schedule the next hack session in next Thursday, and we can continue with that. We are probably going to be missing the target on the timing. I don't know when. How is the commons config going, guys? Any news on that front? Because we probably are going to need some more time in order to have this ready.
You mean the dashboard?
Yeah.
Yeah, like our planning for having it done is like end of September, because I think like in the development side we will need like more 2 weeks to have it like fully working. But then I think we'll have some user testing, and then I think we'll have some discussions on that. So probably, yeah, I think probably end of October. But I think Griff can give you a more like exact deadline or like submission of it.
Yeah, and then after that we have a month of voting.
Okay, so that puts us on the 1st of November or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good estimation.
Remember the 5th of November.
That sounds like a good launch date.
Okay, then we probably have more time than expected. Okay, these are the updates in the front of EVM-Crispr. We have also been working a lot with Green Hornet in regards of other scripts that he's working for Agave. I have been working on a script that is depositing some XDAI from an agent, DAO agent, into Agave, and it's still not working. But we are also working in this front in which we are doing tooling using this tooling for other aspects. And gardens as well are also interested in have this command line tool for creating boats in gardens. Maybe you,
Yeah.
Green, would like to comment something in regards of that?
Yeah, I'm not on my computer. I'm not on my dev machine, so I can't share my screen or anything. But yeah, like for Agave, there's like a bunch of contracts that the garden needs to basically control, right? So to add new collateral types and to enable, disable borrowing and that type of stuff. And yeah, so I'm basically creating scripts for all of the admin functions and like bundling them together in a CLI. So any member of the DAO can like create votes inside the DAO using EVM-Crispr. The biggest hurdle that, because at the moment I'm like, most of these scripts are using the old way to do it, which is like creating these EVM scripts manually with Kodak call and stuff. The main challenge that I'm having at the moment is like EVM-Crispr, the API is like really, really nice, especially compared to the old way of doing it. It's very, very error prone the old way. The biggest blocker right now is that, of course, all of these scripts require you to use agent essentially, the agent's execute method. And currently EVM-Crispr is not currently supporting that. But as soon as it does, then, you know, I'm trying to like change over all the scripts. But yeah, it's EVM-Crispr is really, I've had quite a bit of experience with these EVM scripts before in Aragon, using it like to mess around with Aragon agent, and it's a real pain in the ass. It's like really, really difficult, very, very error prone, and that is super difficult to debug. So this EVM-Crispr is very, very handy and a godsend for me. So.
Yeah, I also have suffered that pain.
Praise, Paulo, praise, Paulo.
And the hatch, we did the hatch without the EVM-Crispr as well, so it was also a lot of pain. It's great that we already have it.
I'm sure I've caused you a lot of pain as well, Seb. Like I think we spent. I can't remember how many times I've like bugged you to help me fix these scripts in the first place and teach you how to do them. But yeah, thanks.
Okay, so I would like to share with you some of the things that I have been doing a part of that. So probably it's a good time to share my screen. Let's see. There are two things that I would like to share. One is in regards of the multi-token gardens, and the other is in regards of treasury management. So first of all,
I can see the screen.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It was showing now.
Yeah, it's
black. It's not showing.
No.
No. Let's try again. If not, I reconnect.
It's like as soon as you just like it shows just before you like to close it.
Yeah, like it's sharing the Discord page, but not whatever you're trying to show us.
Okay. And what about now?
Your Discord is open.
Come on. What about?
Now it's showing.
Okay. I am sharing only the screen, the window. Okay, so let's start with one of the problems that we have with the voting aggregator. The voting aggregator is usually used for aggregating tokens for voting in DAO voting, right? So one of the problems that it has is that when you are aggregating two tokens, it counts as the total supply that it counts is the sum of the weighted amounts of each token total supply. So imagine that you have 1 million agave, and you have 1 million honey. So and you are counting agave and honey as equal in a DAO. So it should be fine for that case, because then it's like, okay, we are summing up both things, half of one, half of the other, and this is what we have. But in the case of staked tokens, it is problematic, because imagine that you have this 1 million agave, and then you have stake agave, and you aggregate both of them in order for both of them be able to vote. In the case of staking the agave, the total supply of stake agave increases over when it's staked, and decreases when it's unstaked, right? So the problem that it has is that if we don't have any staked agave, the total supply is 1 million, and if we stake all the agave, then the total supply of both agave and stake agave is 2 million. And this messes up a lot with the quorum and with the acceptance, these two, let's say. It messes a lot with the where do I have it? The minimum acceptance quorum and the support required of DAO voting. It's greatly affected by this effect, in which you can make them grow or decline staking or unstaking agave. So the solution would be to say that stake agave should not count as a token that is counted for the total supply, because all the staked agave that you have, it's already counted into the agave, because it's already staked in a contract, so it's already there, and that will save it would fix it. So basically, the solution is to add this function, the counting supply. So you can say that as a power source token, that should not count, and then when we are calculating it for the total supply, we are not counting when it is not counted, and that's it. So this is one of the fixes that we can have in the voting aggregator. And as well, we can have this, once we are changing the voting aggregator, we can also add some other features that can help the gardens be multi-token gardens. So until now, we have this structure in which we have a garden token that is controlled by a hook token manager, and their tokens, let's say, that are staked, that they are not actually staked, but they are marked as supporting some proposals in conviction voting. And conviction voting is registered as a hook, so every time that you move one of those garden tokens, the hook token manager knows and informs the conviction voting that they are being moved. So conviction voting can withdraw the support from the proposals if you are just transferring the tokens to somewhere else, right? And this is working quite well. Of course, we have this hook that is executing every time that the token is transferred, and it's something that we don't desire in the future. But until now, and because we are in next day, it is not that bad. So the other problem that it has is that the conviction voting can only be connected to a hook token manager that is controlling one token at the same time. And in order to have multi-token garden, we need something else. So this is the proposed solution. You have the two hook token managers that are controlling two garden tokens, and they are power sources of the voting aggregator. This power aggregator can be used directly into the DAO voting, and the thing here, the thing that we are doing is that they are these aggregated tokens that you can select, for example, that you want 10% of this garden token and 90% of this other, right? This is a token itself that can be used with the conviction voting, and the conviction voting hook has to be connected to somewhere. In that case, the voting aggregator, and the voting aggregator is a hook itself that is connected to both of the hook token managers. So every time that we are moving one of those two token gardens, the hook token manager is informed, and it informs the voting aggregator, which informs at the same time the conviction voting. It's a mess of hooks and calls, but let's say that it's a temporary solution until we have Gardens version 2. And because the plan in the future is to have the tokens staked somewhere, and conviction voting in that case just will lock some of them in order to stake, and you manually can unstake them. But that will be a lot of work and a lot of UX. We need to improve a lot the UX for doing that. So the solution that we have right now is having something like this, which is not that crazy. And the code is already here. So the things that we are going to need are the tests and the front end. And well, having some of its code into the Gardens template as well. But the architecture is this one. I don't know if you have some questions or.
So in this second model, does it make you have to stake the Gardens token to vote?
Nope.
That's amazing. Well done, man. Well done.
Yeah. The cool thing is that the idea was to the idea that I was bringing was having the two tokens staked into one hook token manager. But Griff said, "Nah, man, this is not cool. This is not cool because staking experience is not so good, and we also had some problems with testing. It was still possible, but at the same time, it was complicating things a lot, like having to do the migration tools app and many other things. So it was like not worth it. Probably it's better just modifying the voting aggregator and have this nicer experience for people.
Yeah, and hooking the hooks to hook together. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Lots of hooks. Might have to start
this is why I don't like it, because it's I mean, it works for now, but at the same time it has some drawbacks that, I mean, it doesn't have drawbacks for the cases that we are used to, but it cannot scale anymore. I mean, this is the maximum that it can reach. it cannot do anything. For example, if you have honey here, honey can only be used in this conviction voting. If you wanted to use it in other conviction votings, then you should ask permission to one hive in order to have the official gardens, which is not good anymore at all. And yeah, I think that there are many things that can be, if we change all this architecture of hooks, will be much better for the long run, in order to permissionlessly having gardens that are using honey, are using agave, in many ways.
This
So
is super
that's-
nice, man. Really appreciate this because like this is a real pain. This is a real pain. Like and it's currently as it stands as well. It's a bit awkward having to like stake one of the tokens, but then the other token like you can just use it without staking it. It creates like a weird UX thing as well. So it's really nice.
Yeah, actually, in the case of stake Agave, it will be kind of. I don't know how stake Agave is made. Is it a mini token or not?
No, it's not. It follows. It's basically staked agave is like a staking contract, and it just has the It has some parts of the interface, so it has balance of and balance of at, but I'm not sure if it follows the entire. If it follows like all of the spec for the ERC, so. But it's upgradable, so we can upgrade it.
Because what we need is, in order to use this, it requires to be a hook token manager here.
Hook manager, yeah.
And
No,
then the stake Agave can be connected here through staking. So it will be an abrupt stake Agave.
Yeah. Well, the thing is as well, right? Like, so it's a proxy contract anyway, and it at the end of every staking term, which I think is 6 months or 3 months, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's coming to the end anyway, and it has to be redeployed. So the implementation contract needs to be redeployed anyway, and just point to a new implementation. So
Okay.
That gives us an opportunity here.
Okay, that will make a lot of sense. Actually, the main problem that I am seeing with these hooks and all these things is that we end up doing many versions of the same token because we want to use them in many different places, and at the same time, it's we have the C tokens for gardens, we have the stake tokens for staking in Unipool. We have to change this in the future, like the way that we are building these things. Okay, so let's talk more about that. In the case of TEC, this will mean that we can have TEC token and a TEC token. TEC stands for governance, and it is not transferable. And we can even add different power weights into it. Probably they are going to be 1 and 1, but it's also nice to know that we can change those weights here for other gardens. And I think that I am already taking a lot of time from this.
Yeah, but it's heroic work. So the code's written. You said that it needs tests and the front end work. Is that what you said?
Yes. Some tests. I also still need to change the gardens template, but I can do it this night. And the tests probably are going to take some more time.
Is there do you think it's possible to get it done before the Commons upgrade, or is it too much?
Yeah, I think that this is why I was doing this now. Yes, of course, it's possible.
I mean, if it's not, well, I guess it's just a pain in the ass to upgrade, huh?
Yeah, it would not be, no. It should be before the Commons upgrade. Because after, it's going to be a mess.
How long do you reckon it's going to take to do? Because like we have a DAO, but we're not using it at the moment, and we haven't like fully announced it yet. But probably going to be not in time for us, is it?
My idea is to put all the to be working on this until I finish it. So it should be done by this week, by the end of this week, I think.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
I know that it's that always the things are try, but I think that there are other works that are on the that you are doing other things, right? If that's the last thing that is done.
Hmm.
I mean, I know that you are in a race.
Yeah.
In the case of the commons upgrade, it will be even worse because the tokens will be vested. So we could not migrate until they are unvested. And in the case of Agave, I would also recommend wait until it's finished.
So just to be clear, right? We can't change to this aggregator from the old aggregator if we don't have a hooked token manager for staked agave.
Okay, yeah. In the case of stake Agave, what you have right now is something like this, right?
Mhm.
And in order to upgrade to something like this without changing the template, you have to completely eliminate this conviction voting and install a new one that uses the voting aggregator as the token. But this voting aggregator is also new as well, so you cannot use the old one. And this voting aggregator is very important for. It's also connected to Tao voting. I will not recommend do this change.
Yeah.
In Agave, if you are going to use the current garden that you already have.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like we can, I've got like maybe a day or two worth of testing to do on some of these scripts before we and there's one front end bug where it doesn't actually, when you create a signaling vote, it doesn't show both of the token weights, right? But once that's fixed, we're looking to like announce the new DAO. So I mean, we could in theory like wait a little bit more, as long as like we and just basically spawn a new DAOs. It's not really the end of the world, but we're really pushing up against it right now before essentially, yeah.
Yeah, what is more critical is the contract side because the front end cannot always be changed. So if we don't have we will not have the front end for this.
There is no currently there is no front end for the aggregator anyway, right?
Yeah, but for the Tao voting, when it's using the aggregator, it is which is the case that you have right now in Agave. It is only showing the main token, not the extra token.
Exactly. Yeah.
So even if there is no front end for this, the front end of the gardens is still expecting something or another, and this is something that must to be done. And for conviction voting, it will be exactly the same case. The new tokens are not well. Conviction voting, I think. I'm not sure what is going to happen when we do this change here. Maybe conviction voting is still using the normal garden token, and the other is ignored. So I think that the front end part is also going to be a pain for both things actually. But yeah, I think that the priority is to have the contracts place, even though the functionality is not able to be used until we fix the front end, because it would be able to be used in a month, 2 or 3, but if we don't have this then it's possible to upgrade. So I will go this way. Maybe also you find it very very early to do it. I don't know if you can also go without being able to vote on conviction voting in Agave.
Yeah, it's not super critical at the moment. Conviction voting is like a nice to have. We need tau voting more than anything because like that's how we make decisions, right? So
Yeah, so maybe we can say that this is Gardens version 1.1 and TC will launch with that and it is going to be in 2 months, let's say. So it's plenty of time to do that, but for now, for Agave, probably it's too early.
nice, no problem.
Okay, and I also wanted to share some of the. There is not much time left. And a concept that I have been thinking on managing the treasury, a kind of vault and token that are in the same Aragon app. But I guess that it's only the teaser because we won't have so much time. The idea is that only for the case of conviction voting, we could have many tokens in a kind of treasury, and every time that you are withdrawing some tokens of it, you withdraw a proportional part of each of the underlying tokens. Treasury itself is a token. So let's say that you want to withdraw 0.3 tokens of it, and the total supply of the treasury is always 1. So this means that you are going to remove 0.3, which means 30% of the treasury for one of the proposals of conviction voting. And within the treasury, you can have any kind of underlying token, and it is not important tokens you have in it because you are always going to have the same. You have a common interface for in order to ask for in conviction voting. I probably didn't explain it so well, but maybe next time I can explain better. By the way, it's only useful for conviction voting because for the augmented voting, we really need total supply and that is changing over time. In the case of the treasury, fixed. So for the case of having the ratio with Agave XDAI, it should be as we have it right now. It should be all in XDAI or all in Agave XDAI. There will not be the possibility of having multiple underlying tokens. But for the common pool, it will be possible with this type of application. But I can.
Can I just clarify one thing? When someone withdraws from the conviction voting, they would just get they would get 2 tokens. They would get let's say that we're doing, let's say we had 30% Agave XDAI and 70% wrapped XDAI in the treasury. When someone requests $1,000, they'd get 300 Agave wrapped XDAI and 700 wrapped XDAI.
In this case, yes. If that's not the way that we want to go, we could also do another app that it's not like this. That wraps or unwraps stakes or unstakes from Agave as you are requesting them.
Interesting. That's an interesting app.
Yeah, I think that I was thinking on this, but because of things that we were saying today, and also the problem of incompatibility of this with the reserve, I am also thinking that maybe it's even more interesting to have an Agave Vault app that you, from the outside, what you have here is XDAI, but internally it's staking a portion that you want in Agave.
That does sound like a better, more useful app for other people to use.
By the way, in the case of gardens, Treasury might also be quite interesting because it's not only for Agave, it's for many other things. You can have any kind of token. So yeah, these were two of the things that I wanted to share with you. Maybe we can continue week, and on Thursday we have the hack session.
And which hour is the hack session?
It is here in peer programming on, I think that is 3 or 5, guys. It's on Thursday, but I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
What time?
Where is my
Oh,
calendar?
sorry, I was muted. It's at 5.
5.
Okay.
Okay, great.
5 Barcelona time.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep. And we have a review call with Brett tomorrow as well. Looks like that will be 3 Barcelona time.
Very exciting.
Yeah. All right.
Also here in pair programming or somewhere else? The call tomorrow. Sorry.
Actually, I think that's in Discord. It's not like an open call, but if you want to,
Okay.
if you
No,
want to
no,
come in, I mean, anyone in the Commons Swarm is welcome, but I would just want to stay focused on. It's also like bugs in smart contracts, and I don't know. It's usually not better to have those kind of calls in public for some reason.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll just join on Thursday then.
Okay. If you're curious to come though, you're definitely invited.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, guys, thank you for coming. See you on Thursday or next week.
All right. Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Great work,
Bye.
Sam. Bye.